Hey YouTube. So I want to have a little bit of a story time with you guys on a recent interaction I had with the customer and how it can lead you to more sales, with your business. This is specifically for my 3D printing side of things. Um, and I'm in a mindset where I try my best to treat customers better than how I want to be treated, and I don't want to be treated bad. So I had a gentleman a few weeks back where I believe he purchased. This is one of my camera kits that I used. So again, I have a Toyota Tundra, and I bought a rear view camera, right? Um, Sorry, I bought review digital review camera, and it has a camera in the back to see. So this was my first mount. Um, where your rear headrest goes, it's got the two poles that go into the seat. I designed this to where the poles go in here, this slides through there, and mind you, this is like my third or fourth redesign of this. And this slides down, and then your camera can mount on this, and it sits like that. Pretty basic, all designed on FreeCAD. This is my first design. And what I like to do is whenever somebody buys this, I'll send them this guy just in case. That way if this doesn't work, they have this, which works for most vehicles from what I've seen. Um, Little did I know, it did not work for his truck. He had a 2.5 gen Toyota Tundra double cab, which is the one with the little doors in the back, and my truck is the one with the full size doors. His window doesn't roll down. I don't believe he has a little sliding window, but the space between the rear seat and the glass was so much shorter than what it is on my truck. This guy here, I believe the glass was here, and here are his things. So there was no space for this to sit. This guy here would have worked, but there's a black trim all the way around his window that it sits down here. So this is way too tall. So the gentleman sent me a message on Etsy asking me if there's anything I can do to help him. And yeah, I mean, you can always just ignore them, which I never recommend. I would hate if somebody ever did that to me. So he asked if there's anything he could do. He sent me some pictures and kind of what was going on. And immediately I messaged him back. I was like, hey man, I'm not. I think I wasn't home or something. I was like, I'm not home right now. Maybe I can help you out. I can try to redesign something. Can you send me some pictures? So he did. This was back in April, and he sent me pictures like this. And again, I just started 3D modeling, so I'm not super good at it. So this is kind of a big thing for me, where I was trying to 3D model something with just pictures. But I sent him a picture of this, which is super crude. I don't know if you can make it out on the computer, but it's just drawn with my finger, on the app on my phone. I was like, I think maybe this might work for you, just something to lower the camera. This is, he asked if I can redesign this. That would have been too complicated to try to bring it up, and so this was kind of scrapped, that idea. This works good for the regular Tundra, but not for his truck. This is what I figured would work, and you kind of see it in the remnants of this. This was my final product for him. So he sent me that. I sent him that, and he said, yeah, that might work. So he sent me some measurements, and I kind of went off of that. So what I did was I redesigned this, and here's my 3D modeling thing on the computer. He said it might work. I printed it and I sent it to him free of charge. And the grand scheme of things, it maybe cost me $5-6 more, $7, $8, and maybe 2 hours worth of 3D modeling. But at the end of the day, luckily for me, I'm a little bit more confident now. But luckily for me, that first attempt worked great for him. I designed it to where it clips into his headliner. It's a little bit shallower because I noticed in the picture it wasn't quite right. The first design, this sits low enough to where it clears his trim. And then I asked him for the measurements on his camera, and his specific camera slots in versus having to be taped up because it was a larger camera, and just double-sided tape might have failed over time. And this worked great. A couple pros to this, where if you were to just ignore him, I mean, he wouldn't be happy. And yes, that might end there, or he may leave a bad review. And when you're a small business, that really kills your sales. I try to go the extra mile whenever I can. So I feel like going the extra mile. He appreciated it, I hope. He said he did, and he said he posted online and stuff. I don't know if he has or not, but I have a couple sales since then. And also, now I have a new item to sell that I know works. I didn't have to, or I'm not able to go out there and physically test this on a double cab Tundra, but him doing it himself, he sent me some pictures after it was mounted and it looks great. So those are a couple of things you can do as a small business, and you have to be mindful, you know. Customers, if they have a great experience, they might not always post it. If they have an exceptional experience, they might post it, they might not. But if they have a negative experience, usually they're going to post it. So if I would have just ghosted him, never replied to his comment, you know, that would have, one, made him feel bad. You know, if you spend your hard-earned money and your product doesn't work or it's junk, you know, that's one thing. But if you go the extra mile and they feel like you went the extra mile, I feel like that in itself is a positive. So yeah, so now I have 3 different camera mounts that I sell. I'm pretty happy with all of them, and I'm confident in selling these to people. You know, I'm not gonna feel like I'm selling them junk. This one here is pretty specific to like his camera and his measurements. I believe it was like the A229 camera. I'm not too familiar with what it is, but that's what I think I've seen other people mention it online. And when I did this to make it a little bit less specific to just his camera, was I went back into the modeling software and I took this top piece off to where I saw it with double-sided tape as well. That way you can just double-sided stick your item on here and it still has like this bottom lip to sit on. That way it's not just fully holding it in place. So this is kind of specific to the Tundra. I think I've sold 3 or 4 cents. And yeah, cool little story. I'm happy I was able to help him out. I believe he left me a really good review as well. So it was a win-win for everybody. And yeah, if you have any questions, comments, let me know. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and I hope that kind of helps you guys with your future customers. Thank you.